Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pelshia, moderator for the conference call. Welcome to Q1 FY2024 results conference call for the Rail Systems Limited. As a reminder, all participants will be in listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touch-tone telephone. Please note this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Mr. Mohit Kumar from ICICI Securities Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. On behalf of ICICI Securities, I would like to welcome you all to Q1 FY2024 earnings call, Titagarh Wagons. So we have with us today Mr. Umesh Chaudhary, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Satish Chaudhary, Director, Marketing and Business Development, Mr. Anil Kumar Agarwal, Director of Finance, CF and CBRO, Mr. Saurav Singhania, Joint CFO and Group Finance Controller. Without delay, I would now like to hand over the call to the management for the opening remarks, followed by Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Very good afternoon, and thank you to all the participants for yet again joining the earnings conference call of Titagarh Rail Systems. I'm Umesh Chaudhary, and I'm joined by my colleagues Anil Agarwal, Satish Chaudhary, Saurav Singhania, and Devesh Singhania. This quarter has been an interesting quarter. Number of developments have taken place, some follow-on developments and some continuing progress. So as far as the follow-on developments are concerned, during the quarter, companies signed major contracts of the Vande Bharat train as well as the wheel project, the Vande Bharat consortium with BHEL and the wheel project in joint venture with Ramakrishna Forgings. Of course, the letter of award of these were received earlier, but the final contract signing happened during this quarter. During the quarter, we also received the letter of award from Gujarat Metro for. Sorry, there is a static. If the call can be put on mute by the organizers, please. The company received a letter of award from Gujarat Metro for 72 cars of Surat Metro, which is a major development because this is the stainless steel metro, and this is the first direct stainless steel metro contract that the company has won. As we had already shared in the past, that the company is setting up the stainless steel metro line, which the first contract which will be executed will be the Bangalore Metro contract in subcontract from CRRC. So that gives us the capability to manufacture stainless steel lines, and this will be only a follow-through. In terms of the numbers have already been shared. We've been able to deliver numbers that have been as per our expectations. And I would say that in the coming quarters, we would continue to develop on both the freight rolling stock and the passenger rolling stock segment. With these opening comments, I'm most happy to, along with my team, we try to answer them to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask the question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and 1 again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and 1 on the telephone keypad. The first question comes from Balasubramanian from Aryan Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Congratulations set of numbers. My first question, as per railway volume data, with 1,430 freight wagons Q1 F24, how much total volume is expected for FY24? And is there any seasonality executions for the freight wagon side? And my second question, could you please share total volume in railway volumes, private volumes, the pickup with the realizations, that would be really helpful.
Thank you, sir. As far as the total of the requirement of the wagons from the railways and the private sector is concerned, we consider them as one bucket because indirectly the private sector wagons also go back to the railway circuit. So the total offtake of the railways is expected to be around 30,000 wagons per year, out of which 15 to 20% is going through the private purchase route and balance is going to go through the railways direct purchase. We believe that this momentum should continue. As regards seasonality is concerned, traditionally Q1 is a little slower because of various reasons. It's just traditionally been there. But now the level of seasonality has come down quite substantially. In the earlier years, we would see that the Q1, because orders were normally earlier placed on a year-to-year basis, now orders are placed on a 3-year basis. So in the earlier years, orders in the Q1 were hardly available, as a result of which the Q1 used to be a poor one. But now I would say that it will only be a marginal improvement, apart from improvement in capacities and performances in going from Q1 to the other quarters.
Okay, sir, is there any possibility to share breakup for India railway volumes, private volumes with realizations?
We do not give that data because these are competitive in nature, but I would only like to state that we still have a very healthy order book in the private sector segment also. We are perhaps the leaders in terms of order books in the private wagon space also in the country, and of course the leader in the railway wagon orders also. In terms of realization, the price at which it is sold to private sector is slightly higher, but there is a higher risk because these orders are smaller in quantity, but more importantly fixed price in nature. So, but beyond that, specific details we would be unable to share at this time.
Okay, sir. So we have finalized private wagons for 440 crores. Could you please share more details about orders, which are the industries we are witnessing on these goods, right?
Apologies, I didn't get your question.
So we have finalized private wagons crore. So like, what are the industries we are witnessing action for private wagons? Whether it is steel,
all core sector of the industry, whether it is steel, whether it's mining, whether it's containers, logistics, so we always have that.
Okay, sir. So on that passenger rolling stock side, how much cars per month we are doing right now? Is there any ramp-up plan we have next couple of months? And margins also have been slower down on passenger rolling side. Is there any specific reason for that?
The ramp-up plan, we are hardly utilizing. Our current capacity is about 20 cars per month, which we have announced that we will be ramping up to 70 cars per month. As of now, the capacity utilization is very small. We are hardly doing maybe 20%, 25% capacity utilization. But, we will be ramping up now going from Q2 onwards. The ramp-up will be visible and more in Q3 then. And then it will every quarter continue to increase. And the margins right now, since we are at very low level of capacity utilization, a couple of percentage of margins here and there is not really relevant because the denominator and the factor of the revenue itself is very small. So, in terms of a few areas of fixed costs going here or there or other costs going here and there, the margin of 1 or 2% changes in a quarter because of the being so small.
Sure, got it. My next question, sir.
Please join the queue for more questions, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request the participants to restrict questions in the initial round and join back the queue for next question. Next question comes from Bhavin Cheta from Enam. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Congrats on very good set of numbers and continuous margin expansion. So a few questions on the order book. So if I see the passenger rolling stock order book, you've declared 13,612 crores, and if I exclude one passenger rolling.
Sorry, I lost the question.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, please. Yeah.
I was coming to the order book. So passenger rolling stock of order book of 13,612 includes one part of 12,716. So if I exclude that, your metro orders is 890 crores. This 896 crores breakup would be how much now? How much is Pune and whether you have included recently one Surat metro also in this order? I just want a few clarification on this. Balance 96.
I'm sorry, we will not be able to close contract-wise value. We can only give you segmental values. It has already been given. The 857 crore value, but it's if you just look at the presentation, 857 crore value is of Surat Metro alone. Plus we have the Bangalore Metro subcontracting of CRRC plus the Pune Metro. So definitely we have a larger than the amount that you just mentioned in terms of the.
No, sir. I was looking at your order book only. What I was excluded Vande Bharat. The balance comes to 896, and the Surat Metro one is 857. So if 857 is included in 896, that I want clarification because
that's what I just gave a clarification, sir. That the numbers that whatever is the calculation that is being performed, exclusion of Vande Bharat, etc. Probably there's an error in that calculation. Because if the Surat Metro in itself is 857,
yes,
and obviously the others will be there, the Bangalore as well as the Pune. So I would not be able to break down this 14,270 the total order book for you contract-wise. But I would only like to state that the Metro order is larger than the number that you just mentioned.
Okay, but the Surat is already included in the order. That's what I want to confirm. That's fine. Okay, and again on the private order, if I see the Indian Railways Wagon offtake, there was substantial increase in wagon sales to private sector in last 2 quarters, and you have this new order of 440 also. So you expect the last 2 quarters momentum to continue going forward in this fiscal? Particularly this fiscal, sales private sector will also be substantially higher?
So the orders from the railways have been placed last year, and those orders are for long term. They will continue till August 2025. So definitely we expect that the visibility is there, so the momentum should continue.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. Next question comes from Akash Ora from Dalal. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Great set of numbers in this quarter. My question comes more from an execution point of view. So how do you plan to execute the metro orders in the coming quarters? I mean, so what will be the production of coaches in this quarter, and how will it, shape up in the coming few quarters and let's say by next year as well?
Sure. As far as the, thank you very much firstly. As far as the execution is concerned, wagon, the freight rolling stock is now stabilized at 700 wagons per month. And we believe we will be able to take it to 1,000 wagons per month by the end of this year or within this financial year. As far as the passenger rolling stock is concerned, we are still at a very low number. We are still at about, on an average, if you look at it, about 30-25% of our current capacity utilization. And but The challenge is only in the beginning, where to set up the lines and to stabilize production. There are many teething troubles. We are fairly confident that by third quarter and fourth quarter we will be able to stabilize the metro production also. The facilities are coming up very well, both for metro and for Vande Bharat.
Got it, sir. So just to clarify what you said, so let's say a 650 to 700 run rate of wagon production per month, we must have produced around, let's say 1800 to somewhere between 1,000 wagons this quarter.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but just I had one question. So, why in the retail segment is the total revenue falling, like from a sequential basis, on a quarter-on-quarter basis? Like, if we have ramped up on the production, then why is the total revenue falling?
So as I explained to in the previous question, there is always Q1 always tends to be a little softer than the other quarters. In terms of offtake and in terms of production, all those things. Of course, the seasonality used to be much more profound in earlier years because order placements used to be delayed. Now the seasonality is much lesser than before. But nevertheless, this first quarter to second or third or fourth quarter seasonality to some extent would always be there. So I would not say that is a fair comparison to see the growth only from Q1 of last year to Q1 of this year, but it would not be also an equal apple-to-apple comparison to compare Q4 of last year to Q1 of this year.
Okay. And the 20 to 25% capacity utilization that you said for passenger coach. So currently our capacity passenger coach sits at around 20 to 25 coaches per month. So are you saying... so are you saying that we are producing around 5 to 6 coaches per month currently? Is it?
That's right.
Okay. And by what time do we plan to ramp this up to the capacity to be ramped up to 75 coaches?
So the complete capacity utilization will come in another 1 year, but we will ramp up from Q2 itself. We start the ramp up process.
So let's say by the end of the year, we'll be at 20 to 25 coaches per month ka speed, ka rate.
Yeah, we should be able to get to 20.
And eventually our target is to reach that 75 per month, right?
That 70 cars per month, that will be when we start Vande Bharat full swing. So that is going to take at least another 2.5, 3 years.
Got it. And this year for metro, we are planning to execute these 2 orders, Pune and the Bangalore one, right?
Yeah, part of that. So there is a schedule for all the contracts. We are going to be pretty much as per the schedule.
Okay. Just last question from my side. So Pune metro will be done here itself, if I'm not wrong.
That's right.
The Bangalore metro will be like how much ideally will be completed by the time of year?
We will be doing it as per the contractual terms. We'll start it this year and we'll be finishing it over the next year or maybe a little bit to the following year.
Okay, so it's almost 30 months execution.
I would not be able to give the exact number of months, but as I said that there is a contractual delivery period based on which we will be pretty much on track.
No problem, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Ashwani Sharma from ICICI Securities Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and congratulations for performance. So my first question is on the tender pipeline in Vande Bharat. How is the tender pipeline looking like now? And the question is on the opportunity that you see on the traction motor side. Yeah.
So as far as the Vande Bharat is concerned, whatever one reads from the media, so there is the announcement for additional Vande Bharat, the Vande Metro, and all of that. So of course now we have the existing order which we are focusing on executing. But we believe that there will be a very healthy pipeline. As I always believe that Vande Bharat is a symbol of aspirational India and of new India. So there should be the transformation from the old coaches to the Vande Bharat coaches. So we feel that there should be adequate business in the future. As of now, of course, we have these 80 trains to produce, so that in itself is a handful. We will be concentrating on executing that. As regards the traction motor is concerned, I think that's another important event that happened in the last quarter, that our trial period for the first set of traction motors that we had supplied to the railways was over, and we've been able to start the limited series supply. There are 3 phases of supplies for traction motors. The first is the prototype, the second is the limited series, and the third is the bulk. So we are graduated from the prototype to the limited series supplies, and it's a matter of time that we will be able to graduate to the bulk supplies. The capacity that we have created for traction motors is about 180 traction motors per month, and we believe that the demand is enough to be able to manufacture as per capacity.
Is it possible the number to to do the modeling as far as overall demand is concerned? The industry.
So the traction motors are required in different things: locomotives, EMUs, Vande Bharat, metro. So each locomotive requires 8 traction motors. Then each metro coach is required. So then there are replacement demands. So I will not be able to, for lack of, I would say, ready reference or ready reckoning answer, be able to give you complete market size. But in terms of the overall demand perception and the overall demand visibility, there seems to be enough demand. And we will also be producing a lot of traction motors for our own consumption in our own coaches.
Right. So also just speak on metro or at tendering. How is the pipeline looking like?
Very strong. There are already many pipeline orders, tenders in the pipeline. There is the Chennai metro, there are Mumbai metros, so there should be other metros also coming up. Metro, a lot of metro projects have already been announced and have already been taken up. Rolling stock is always the last end of the spectrum. So now that a number of civil infrastructure work has already started, the rolling stock figures are the next to follow.
So what was the wagon volume in the quarter?
We've been able to produce around 650 to 700 wagons per month, and that run rate we are maintaining.
Okay, yeah, that's all from my side. All the best.
Thank you. Next question comes from Srinidhi Karlekar from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. First opportunity and congratulations on good step numbers. So a couple of questions on the payment terms and the price variation clause in your metro business. Can you help us understand how does it compare with your business, as in both receivable days cycle as well as how comprehensive is price variation clause in your orders?
Sure, sir. So as far as the metro orders are concerned, some of them have a price variation, some of them are fixed costs. It's not a standard kind of a formula that is followed across the metro corporations. As regard payment terms are concerned, metro corporations normally give an advance varying between 10 and 20%, and the balance is paid on supply of the metro coaches. Normally the metro tenders are funded through multilateral funding agencies or the government equity funding. And therefore, payments for the supplies can be expected in a period of 3 to 6 weeks of the supply.
Yeah. Do these contracts have a milestone, or it is like shipments on car basis? Like if you set of you get, but you need to 20%, 80%. Do they have a milestone?
No, it's on a per car basis.
Okay. And second, sir, on this incremental order you won for private wagon market, fair to say that they have come at significantly better pricing as well as payment terms?
So we would not be able to say we would not be able to say better or worse pricing. We would say that they have come at market pricing. And normally market pricing, is a factor of risk and reward. So, each contract is held by us and priced by us on the merit of that particular contract. So we would not be able to speak on a contract by contract basis, as you can appreciate, but they are pretty much in line with market pricing.
And last one, if I may, would it be possible to comment on Firema performance this quarter and how is likely to be out for the rest of the next year?
So Firema results are no longer consolidated as it is on the equity accounting method. The company is no longer a subsidiary of Titagarh Rail Systems. But Firema performance has been picking up. I can only share that much, that the ramp up of production is happening, but to give these numbers at this point of time may not be possible.
Fair enough. Thank you for taking my questions and all the best.
Thank you. Next question comes from Parvesh Kowasi from Novama. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm taking my question. Congratulations for great set of numbers. My question is regarding the propulsion system. While you did comment on the traction and motor part, just wanted to get your views on propulsion system and how do we see our development trajectory there.
Sure. Propulsion system is going to be a very important part of our strategy. It is a long gestation development, so to be able to be fully in the propulsion business is going to take at least another 2 years for us. But this is going to be a very important part of our strategy going forward, and we are focusing a lot on the propulsion business.
Sure. And media reports do say that we expect Indian Railways is like come up with a significantly large wagon order going ahead. Just want to get your views on that.
So, as far as the media reports are concerned, we have also seen that, but we would not like to comment on media reports. All we can say is that whether the tenders come out a month here or 4 months there, it doesn't really make a difference because the overall demand is very healthy. And as of now, we already have order books seeing us through for the next couple of years. So, the tenders, the tender pipeline or the demand pipeline, I would say, looks very healthy. So the tender pipeline will have to follow the demand pipeline.
Sure. Thanks for taking my question and all the best for future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Jay Pija from JV Investments. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. I had a question regarding the margin point of view. How do we expect the margins to be maintained overall in a years from, 3 years from now?
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. The margins, as I have always mentioned that, in our business, a sustainable level of margin for EBITDA is between 8 to 10%. Let us say with the volume that we have been able to achieve, we would be targeting to keep at least 10%. The current quarter has been better margins, but the margin assessment on a quarter-to-quarter basis may not be very relevant in our business. It's a capital goods sector. Most of our contracts are backed with price variation clauses, and the way the commodity price and the wholesale price index moves is not completely on a day-by-day tandem, but sometimes can take a month or 2 months to catch up. And also the difference in terms of the customer profile and the contracts executed changes the quarter-by-quarter margin. So as a guidance, I would still say that 10% EBITDA margin is a fair EBITDA margin to kind of model over a period of say 6-8 quarters. As far as the improvement of margin that is likely to take place will take place once we are fully done with our component business, which is an important part of our strategy. That includes the propulsion and other components that we are trying to develop for backward integration.
Okay. Thanks a lot. That's all from my side.
Thank you. Next question comes from Pankaj Gupta from Ratnabali Investments. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, sir, for the excellent set of numbers and historic order win. Sir, I have a couple of questions. Sir, can you just give us any status on progress of the wheel factory? Have we identified any locations, or when are we planning to start and finish this factory capacity?
Sure. Good afternoon. The wheel production, as per the contract that we have signed, has to start in 3 years from the signing of the contract, which means by 2026, April or May. And we are pretty much on track to be able to achieve that or even better that timeline slightly. In terms of the location, in terms of the details, as and when things are finalized, they would be announced to the market, and we will definitely be sharing it at an appropriate time.
Okay. Sir, and one more thing. Sir, is there a difference in the wagon design or structures for a freight corridor, double stack and normal, or the same wagon is being used?
Again, it depends on a wagon-to-wagon basis. There are different types of wagons. Many of the wagons are common. Some of the wagons are special. But there is nothing fundamentally different in the wagon design. They are by and large the same. Our company is doing all the designs of wagons.
Okay. And sir, last question from my side. There are some media articles regarding 2 tenders of One Bharat, 100 trains each being more float, maybe on the aluminium side. Are we in those tenders also?
The new tenders, are you saying that the new tenders will be floated?
So, sir, media article says about it. We have seen
I'm not
some
sure
of the other
media article you are referring to, but if you are talking about new tenders that will be floated, definitely we will evaluate and we will decide based on the merits of the tender and our suitability for the product. As regards the earlier tenders, one of the major tenders that was floated, we have already got the contract. The other one, which was an aluminium one that was floated, we did not participate in that.
Okay, sir, that's what it is. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Next question comes from Siddharth Rohit from Rescue Investments Advisors Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. So just one point. In the recent quarters and years, particularly the number of procured has gone up. Any data points like what percentage is going for replacing the old wagons, and what is the actual addition to the fleet of wagons by the railway?
Good afternoon. No, sir, there is no way to figure that out because it is like a ocean of wagons, out there. So you cannot really calculate what wagons have gone for replacement and what for additional traffic because it all gets into the common pool.
Okay. And sir, with regards to the new contract that we received for Vande Bharat, we are supposed to start the contract in a specific time period of time, and deliver it. Is there any clause where, or any penalty clause is there if there is a substantial delay in delivery from our side? How is it?
Every government contract has a delivery period and consequential damages and penalties in the event of delay. So this is not for Vande Bharat alone, but every single contract that we sign has similar clause.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Manish Maheshwari from Manu Family Office. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. So, I would like to understand how are you going to scale your passenger rail system business? Because your mainstream business is, freight rail systems, right?
I'm sorry, what? I didn't get your question.
How are you going to scale your passenger rail system business? Passenger rail system is about 13,000 crores, 1,600 crores order book, right?
That's right.
So how are you going to scale business? Because you are extremely gung-ho on this business, and you are envisaging that the next leg of growth is going to come from particular business. I heard you talking about the media channel today morning.
That's right. So I didn't get your question, sir.
So how are you going to scale it?
How am I? I already mentioned that we are putting up the facility. We already have a capacity to make 20 cars a month, which we are enhancing. So we started delivering the Pune Metro. We will start delivering Bangalore Metro, etc. And we are further adding on to capacity to get to 70 cars per month. So that is the way we will scale it up.
And this 30,600 crores order book that you are carrying as in your books right now, what is the timeline for the execution of the order?
Different orders have different timelines for execution. The Vande Bharat execution is over the first prototype in 2 years, and then 4.5 years for supply, and then there is 35 years of maintenance. Surat, as we have already announced in the market, the delivery is in about 170 weeks, if my memory serves me correct, subject to correction. So there are different contracts having a different delivery period, and that is how our capacity utilization is being planned.
What is the capacity utilization in passenger right now?
As I mentioned a few minutes ago, right now we are in the initial stage, at the beginning stage, so we are at about just 20% capacity utilization of the current capacity. On one side we are adding the capacity, on the other side we are increasing the capacity utilization.
No, I heard that the capacity utilization will increase from Q2 and Q3.
Every quarter we will increase. Every quarter subsequent, we will be improving upon the capacity utilization, sir, and we will be able to reach our capacity up to the current installed capacity of 20 cars a month by end of this year or beginning of the coming year.
20 cars a month by end of this year. Hello.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Your, the current contribution from your passenger business is 18-19% of the top line, right?
Yes, it's 19% as of the current quarter.
Can you give us some? Is there guidance that you can give us in terms of?
We don't give any guidance as a matter of policy, but we've already disclosed the capacity and our plans in the presentation and also in the remarks. But as far as the future numbers are concerned, as a policy, we do not give any guidance as of now.
So you said that current capacity is about 20 to 25%, and you hope to reach about 20 cars a month by the end of this particular calendar year. So what is it that you are?
Sorry, sir. This particular financial year.
Particular financial year. Got it. So now, at this juncture, what is it? What is the capacity that we are putting right now?
I already mentioned to you, sir, 20 to 25%.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question comes from Kunal Sheth from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Congratulations on a great set of numbers. Sir,
Yes, absolutely, Kunal. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good. Sir, first question was related to gross margin. We have seen some, dip in gross margins this quarter. So, is it more related to mix or anything that you can talk about?
So it is relating to mix and also as I mentioned, Kunal, about the price variation. The commodity prices have been soft in the first quarter, whereas the PVC always follows. So, a quarter-by-quarter margin assessment is probably not going to be very relevant in our sector. But, this trend might continue for a couple of quarters or 3 quarters. But when we look at overall 8 to 12 quarter period, a 2 to 3 year period, margins are about 10%.
For the yes, sir. That is for the segment, right? I was more thinking about the gross margin. So, okay, it could be probably mix of these two things. Sure. And, sir, in the passenger car segment, sir, and this is slightly, Ramesh did mention that we are, currently running at 20% utilization. So once we, probably by the end of this year, start of next year, reach per month kind of target, would it be fair to assume that margins will meaningfully scale up? And probably there are 2 levers for margin. One is scale, and another is the equipment strategy that you have in terms of propulsion systems and traction motors. So, would you believe that large part of the margin uptick will come post the equipment strategy, or leverage will also play equally important part?
So as far as the normalization of the margin, as you can see that the margin, I just mentioned that the normal margin for our business is about 10% of EBITDA. Now the margins are much lesser than 10%. That is primarily on account of the volumes. So once we are able to reach the normal volumes, we should be able to keep 8 to 10% of EBITDA levels. And in order to go to a higher EBITDA level, which the passenger rail system business can give us, that is going to come through the strategy of the components. So once we are able to develop or backward integrate into more of components, whether it is propulsion, traction motors or others, that is going to enhance the margins, because the wallet share of the train in terms of the make or buy will increase.
Sure. So thank you so much, sir, and best of luck for future quarters.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Mayank Kothari from SBI Capital Securities. Please go ahead. I'm sorry, sir, if there are no questions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Rahul Maheshwari from Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Evening. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and congratulations for good set of numbers. Just one question apart in the current quarter, as you have highlighted in your presentation that you have signed the order for the forged wheels order. Apart from the freight rolling stocks and passenger rolling stocks, what else opportunity in next 2-3 years the company can have, like they have for the forged wheels? Any opportunity size, if you can highlight, would be very helpful.
So there are several opportunities in relation to the forged wheel. Today we are importing wheels for the we use for the passenger segment, and also private wagons as well. We are importing wheels. So there is, in fact, this initiative which has been by the Indian Railways to have like an Atmanirbhar wheel factory in India. So being a net importer, we are planning to be net exporter. So even the factory that we are planning to put up is for the capacity which is much more than the mandatory offtake that is required by the Indian Railways. So I believe there is going to be a huge export opportunity that we foresee from this particular opportunity that we have.
How big is the size for forged wheels market currently? What we are importing currently, and you are to export.
So the current, as per the media reports, the current import of wheels in the last year was about 500 odd crores in India. In terms of the total size of the project that we are setting up, the potential revenue is going to be approximately 2 lakh crores, 1,000 crores per year. And we believe that, because forged wheel is something which is used all over the world, primarily in the passenger train for sure, but also in the freight train in Europe, etc. Cast wheel, which is the other technology, is not prevalent in many countries except for America, China, slightly in China and slightly in India. So we believe that the forged wheel market is going to grow, and there should not be a demand challenge to cover up this capacity of 200,000 wheels, which is ballpark of 4,000 crores a year.
And apart from wheels, what other components the company can tap into by following the government's larger program flagship scheme of Atmanirbhar Bharat, when we look at in terms of wheels, wagons, etc. What else other opportunity is in the pipeline which you can look for?
So we are always in the lookout and evaluating new options for enhancing our product offering. As we call ourselves as a rail system. So whatever is in the rail system arena, something we evaluate. In terms of disclosing them, we would definitely disclose them once they are mature and ready. But the work in progress for evaluation is something that we continuously do on an ongoing basis.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That would be the last question for the day. Now I hand over the floor to management for closing comments.
So I would like to, I think this quarter has been very good in terms of the performance. Numbers are as it is where we have seen, and the questions that has been raised by all the participants, we were very insightful, and we note of some of the suggestions also which is given by the analysts and investors. So we look forward for good set of numbers going forward as well, and with this we close the earnings call. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for your